As you prepare to do your exercises for Chapter 1, let me introduce you to each exercise. In exercise 1A, you're going to have an opportunity to practice reproducing the alphabet. This will be an opportunity for you to write the letters over and over again and to work on memorizing the sequence of the letters. As you can see from your workbook, there are 2 letters present in the left-hand column. The printed letter, which is rather fancy. You do not have to try and reproduce the calligraphy of the printed fonts. And then a stick figure, line drawing type character that will be what you will do when you produce the letters of the Hebrew alphabet. The lines and arrows show you how to begin and shape each character. And as you write them out, make sure that you write them out several times over. Don't just write it once and assume that you have it. Use this as an opportunity to practice over and over again until you get these letters correct. Don't oversimplify. So for example, in the first character with the letter Aleph, don't convert it into an X. It is actually comprised of 3 strokes. We will be correcting you, so get them right and practice them carefully as you go along. The second exercise is an opportunity for you to learn how to read. Now, obviously at this point, you feel like, I've just started, how am I going to read? Well, keep in mind a couple of things. First of all, the Hebrew alphabet is only comprised of consonants. Vowels are an intrinsic part of the language, but it's part of your familiarity with Hebrew words. And so if you know Hebrew words and you know the alphabet, you can actually begin to read Hebrew. So in exercise 1B, what we've done is we've taken Hebrew words that you know, people's names, and they are reproduced with just the consonants so that you can learn to recognize the consonants and start to see how Hebrew is read. In English, the most common vowel is an E. So if you watch Jeopardy or if you ever work with crossword puzzles, you tend to look for an E vowel in order to fill in gaps that you don't know. In Hebrew, the most common vowel is an A. So what we want you to do is we want you to look at each one of these proper names, and because you don't know what the exact pronunciation is, use the letter A between each consonant in order to see if you can pronounce it. And as you do, pronounce it slowly at first, and then faster and faster and faster until you can see if you recognize the name that is on the page. So, to use an example from each column in the exercise, in column 1, you see the consonants Lamed, Beit, and Nun. If we put the ah sound, which is how the Hebrew vowel A is pronounced, ah, if we put that sound between each letter, we get la, van. Notice that the Beit does not have a dot. This is one of the Begad Kafat letters, so it will be pronounced soft. Lavan, Lavan, Lavan. It's the word Laban. At the top of the second column, you see an example with the letters Yod, Ayin, Kof, Beit. The Ayin is a letter that you're not going to hear. It is going to be a transition in sound between one vowel and the next. The Beit at the end, again, does not have a Begad Kafat dot in it. It's not going to have the hard pronunciation. So if we put the ah sound, the A, between each letter, you're going to hear Ya, Ah, Kav. Ya, Ah, Kav. Ya, Ah, Kav. It's the word Jacob. Now, that one's perhaps a little bit more difficult than Lavan, but as you go down the page, you'll find that if you work on pronouncing each letter with the letter A and pronounce it successively more rapidly, you should be able to figure out each of these people's names. And it will give you an idea of how Hebrew is read and what you do in terms of recognizing the letters and becoming more familiar with them.